Well, two crucial data points will be released this evening, and in fact anytime now. India's factory output is expected to rise for the first time since January, reflecting the healthy growth in core industries, while consumer prices are likely to ease in May. Now, Anu is joining me right now with the expectations. Anu, what are we looking out for? And this smells like good news to me at the outset.
Well, it smells like good news, and I think Prime Minister Modi will also be glad that he's being greeted with a certain set of decent data. But that's all it's going to be. It's going to be decent at best, nothing extraordinary. And the big question, we saw the trade deficit number coming in, exports jumping. The big question, does it sustain from here? On the IIP front, just a quick note that this is the number coming in for April because of a 2-month delay. For April, we did see the new fiscal starting, which means that you do start getting the government spending back into play. March, because of code of conduct, we didn't see any of that, which is another contraction came in. Also, on the manufacturing side, we've seen the HSBC PMI data that we get, that getting better month on month. So we've seen a consistent 51.3 odd number coming in, which means manufacturing is improving. So manufacturing is the number to watch out for the IIP. It's likely to come in at a 9-month high. That's what economists are telling us, at about 1.6%, which is an expansion. The inflation number, this may be the last of the good news that we're getting, because from here on, as we've been talking about the El Nino factor coming in and deficient monsoon. Last time we were talking GDP, there was a thunderstorm in Delhi today.
It was one of those very off-nature rains that came in, and there was
even
some
today
serious
we understand. Today we understand it's raining in Delhi. So it always rains in Delhi when there's macro data. So at least Mr. Modi feels that all is well, but may not be so.
Well, the rain will make them dance.
Well, the rain is delaying the data for now, for sure. But it's already 5:32, and we still haven't have the data yet. But watch out for those two numbers. Just a quick word to the fact that the RBI doesn't meet until August 5th now.
Correct.
So a lot of this data will get lost in the noise of the budget, which will be probably the first, second odd week of July, as we understand. Second week of July is when the budget session begins. So all of that will get lost in the noise of the fiscal data as well, and that's the big one. And we'll discuss that in just a bit with Mr. Joshi as well. DK Joshi, who heads CRISIL, right here as the chief economist, the S&P unit for India. Mr. Joshi, as we wait out this number, I want to get a quick view from you on what's really happening with inflation and the big worry on the monsoons at this front. CRISIL as well had put out quite an elaborate report on the food wastage and the worries around how the folk to farm, farm to fork game really has to change for India. Do you think going ahead, the big game changer for the economy has to come from the food supply side?
Well, I think it's a mix of supply side and also management issues. I think part of the reason why food inflation has remained high is that we have enough food grain stocks, but we don't know how to use them. There is a genuine shortage in the protein category, which whether it is milk or it is eggs or it fish, I think their supply is struggling to catch up with the demand. And then the third category of food, where I think inflation is not only sticky but also extremely volatile, is the fruits and vegetables. And I think in the fruits and vegetable part, there's a huge amount of wastage. The maximum wastage takes place there. So you require a mix of solutions. I mean, there's no one shoe fits all for agriculture. I don't think there's need to increase supply in the food grain segment. You have enough food grain stocks which you can't use. I think supply shoring up is required in the protein category and also in the
Mr. Joshi, IIP has actually come in at a very big, a much higher, sorry to interrupt you there, at 3.4%. That's a really big jump coming in from the year before. 3.4% is IIP. The best estimate on Bloomberg was pegging it at about 2.5%. So this is obviously a big jump up, probably coming in. Remember, the core data has been very supportive as well. Mr. Joshi, your first reaction to this number, do you think it's a one-off, or while we still wait for the details and the breakup of it, or do you think the base effect, along with a lot of the project approvals we've seen, will help factory output get back on its feet?
Absolutely. I think if you look at the base, I think the base of 2013-14 is the lowest growth since 91-92. So I think you are working on a very, very weak base, and there's been some lift which was visible in the mining segment, so which got reflected in the core sector, and also the automobile sector was showing some signs of pickup. I think industrial data is extremely volatile, so I think one has to keep this into account, that even in last year, when I think the overall industrial growth was very muted, there were months in which it really shot up. So I think I would be a bit cautious, but yeah, economy is definitely on the mend, and I think the industrial growth we expect will be around 3.5 to 4% this year. So we are expecting a pickup. This is higher than what we expected. Our expectation was around 2%, and I would be a bit cautious to forecast a quick turnaround, but I think we should not completely rule it out because the base is extremely weak, not only for last year, but even the year prior to that, industrial production was very muted, around 3.5%. So I think we are working on a very weak base, and even a slight improvement in the mining segment and pickup in manufacturing demand can push the industrial growth to 4% or even above that.
What is the data?
I think the risk is somewhat from the monsoon.
Definitely. Then let me ask you this, Mr. Joshi, because we've heard this for a while that the IIP number sort of lost its mojo with economists being so volatile and unreliable. What is the data that you're actually watching out for then? Because we saw the trade deficit numbers as well coming in. The CAD looks relatively under control at this point, but gold is starting to show its ugly face, though restrictions not completely lifted at this point. What are the 2 or 3 key data points that you'd say that one has to watch for the economic health pulse at this point?
I think one, you need to watch out for clearly the export side, because export is giving some cushion to manufacturing demand, and I think this is in line. I mean, export pickup and manufacturing activity pickup is in line, but I think for manufacturing activity to really revive on a sustained basis, domestic demand has to pick up. And there comes in, areas like automobile and many other sectors which are operating much below capacity. I think the demand has to pick up, and I think the issue is that how can a quick revival of demand pick up? Sentiments have improved. There will be some impact of wealth effect through the equity markets, but beyond that, I think if the monsoons stay weak, there is no big push to industrial activity. So I would watch out very closely for how intense the weakness in monsoon is. I think if it is a partial failure, I think we can still manage. The reason I think why we're so critically dependent on monsoon this year is because government doesn't have the ability to push fiscal expenditure to lift growth up, lift demand up. And also I think from the RBI side, we should not expect any support for growth because inflation is still above the comfort band. So I think the basic question is then you need to look out for what happened to monsoons, and on the policy side you need to look out for whether the debottlenecking is proceeding at a good pace or not. Because that will also lift demand. Particularly, I think if mining sector progresses, I think that gives a boost to exports. It also gives a lift to manufacturing sector. And if this cycle starts, then I think incomes will also start rising, and you will see a sustained revival in manufacturing.
CPI has come in at 8.28, which is also lower than what most economists were expecting, but it's extremely sticky around of 8%, 8.5%.